It's very counterintuitive. This is a very weird religion to still adhere to, and to think that this God is good after he, because someone picked up sticks, commanded that stones be thrown at the person's body until he died completely. Hey folks, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bible so that you don't have to. And we are in almost the middle of Numbers. We're at Numbers 15. It was a slog at the beginning, but it's gotten really, really entertaining. Yahweh is off the rails. He's just lost his mind again. It's so creative and fun, although some of the stories are just rehashing of Exodus 32 story. It's not a verbatim, but very, very similar. And then the Nephilim are back. How did that happen? I thought they died in the flood. I don't know how they're back. But anyway, we're in Numbers 15, and who knows what's going to happen next. I hope there's some wars, maybe some cool battles, with a lot of detail of the fighting, instead of just like somebody holding up their hands and that's all the detail of the battle because these people weren't creative enough to actually write battle scenes. And like writers aren't that good at writing like actual battle scenes. So they just go like, and then they were winning when Moses held his hands up. And anytime he put his hands down, they lost. And then they put their hands up. Let's get started and hope for the best. Numbers 15. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and tell them, when you have come into the land of your inhabitants, which I give you, and will make an offering by fire to Yahweh, a burnt offering or a sacrifice to accomplish a vow, or as a free will offering, or in your set feasts to make a pleasant aroma to Yahweh, of a herd or of a flock, then he who has offered his offering shall offer to Yahweh a meal offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. You shall prepare wine for the drink offering, 1/4 of a hin with the burnt offering, or for the sacrifice for each lamb." I'm guessing we've read probably this exact thing. I can't remember because I can never remember the offering stuff in Leviticus. It was just so boring. But I'm pretty sure this is just like that again, unfortunately, because it's always the same thing over and over again. It also always feels like a menu. It just feels like a menu for the priests. They're like, we could really use just some lamb. When? Well, whenever, all the time. So let's say like whenever they're doing a burnt offering, a sacrifice, a vow, a free will offering, a set feast, there's basically going to be unlimited five different ways we can get fed. We want some pita with that and definitely some wine. We're not looking for expensive wine, but at least like a mid-range sort of wine. Nice pita and some lamb. Is that all you could possibly want? For a ram you shall prepare for a meal offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with the 1/3 part of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall offer the 1/3 part of a hin of wine of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. Oh, Yahweh likes the pleasant aroma of wine? Is that what we just found out? Is Yahweh a drinker? Is Yahweh a lush? This would make a lot of sense. The whole that you're acting like it's, this has a nice bouquet. He's acting like he's class, and he just wants to do some wine tasting. But I feel like he just wants to get drunk and mess with the whole entire world. Tom Waits has a great line in one of his songs. He says, there ain't no devil, it's just God when he's drunk. And I think that this is the verse that proves that, which I don't think that Tom Waits necessarily knows his Bible, but Yahweh's a drinker. When you prepare a bull for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice to accomplish a vow, or for a peace offering to Yahweh, then he shall offer with the bull a meal offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil. And you shall offer for a drink offering half a hin of wine. for an offering made by fire of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. More wine, please, everybody. More delicious wine. I need half a hin. Do you guys got any more hins of wine? I could use another hin. Hey, do you guys know what I want? Do you guys know what I want? Here's a hint. Here's a hint. I'm just smelling that's right, wine. It's just a pleasant aroma. I just like it because it's a pleasant aroma. Thus it shall be done for each bull, for each ram, for each of the male lambs, or of the young goats, according to the number. And you shall prepare, so you shall do to everyone according to their number. Always a party for Yahweh. Now, of course, I'm joking. I don't think that Yahweh's an alcoholic or anything like that. I think that the Levites are. I think that the priests are like, get us drunk and feed us, and we will love you forever. And then everything will go well with you. We'll definitely be sending prayers up to old Yah and make sure that your grapes grow. Because how else would we get more wine? So yeah, definitely give us a lot of meat and wine. By the way, this is a lot of meat again, but like 2 chapters ago, 1 chapter ago, 3 chapters ago, something like that, they didn't have any meat. God had to actually kill them with a bunch of quail. Like he had to threaten them and then eventually kill a bunch of them by feeding them quail, threatening to force feed them until he realized, where am I going to get all that quail? I'm only God. Because he's inept. So, I mean, what do you expect from him? But here, all of a sudden, they've just got bulls, rams, and lambs to burn and feed the priests. So I don't know. Maybe it's only for the priests. Yeah, they get to eat it because it's holy. I thought that like the congregation got some of them. Maybe it's more just all priests. That would make sense. I'm telling you guys, it's a scam. All who are native born shall do these things in this way, in offering an offering made by fire of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh. If a stranger lives as a foreigner with you, or whoever may be among you throughout your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a pleasant aroma to Yahweh, as you do, so he shall do. For the assembly there shall be one statute for you, and for the stranger who lives as a foreigner, a statute forever throughout your generations. As you are, so the foreigner shall be before Yahweh. One law and one accordance shall be for you, and for the stranger who lives as a stranger with you. This brings up a question for me. It's this idea that like we are no longer under the law. This is what Christians like to say. We are no longer under the law. That was for them, a specific group of people at that time. This stuff is God's law. It's not like the Hebrews' law. This is like the law of the God of the universe. So it's weird to think of that as like for a time and place and specific group of people. Now, if other people who aren't Hebrews live with them, they also have to adhere to these statutes, it turns out. Also, these Hebrews, well, they're going to be set apart from the foreigner or the other nations because they're doing these things, but also they're going to go and destroy these nations because their sin is going to be at the proper height that sin has to be at. We haven't gotten to this part, but I'm going to have a lot of questions when we get there. And they're going to destroy them. Now, sin, of course, is just them not following the law. So if all these other nations had to follow the law, and the foreigners have to follow the law. This is Yahweh's statute for the Hebrews, and he's mentioned many times for all time, and he's going to punish the other nations for not following it. I don't understand how anybody makes any sort of argument that all of a sudden it's just for a small group of people for a small period of time, you know what I mean, in a small part of the world or whatever. It seems like this is supposed to be for everyone always, and if you don't follow it, the Hebrews are going to come and get you. I just don't really think that apologetic works. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them, when you come into the land where I bring you, then it shall be that when you eat of the bread of the land, you shall offer up a wave offering to Yahweh. Of the first of your dough, you shall offer up a cake for a wave offering." I love cake. "As the wave offering of the threshing floor, so you shall heave it. Of the first of your dough, you shall give to Yahweh a wave offering throughout your generations." Throughout your generations. The children of Israel, but of course the foreigner that lives among them. These are the people that have to do the wave offering. Why is no one doing a wave offering? And then are the Canaanites being killed because they are not doing wave offerings? It doesn't say that specifically, I don't think, anywhere. But if it's a sin to not do a wave offering, this is what I'm talking about. And also, the wave offering is still so stupid. It's just like, wouldn't you feel stupid? He likes it. He likes it when you just have a cake. I don't have a cake here, but obviously the cake is just like flour and oil or whatever. It's not tasty or anything, but it's just like, he likes it being waved. I don't know why. It's because he's drunk and he's just like, he's impressed by things moving in front of his face. He's probably puking at a certain point. He's probably like, stop moving that cake. Stop waving the cake. I don't know why I asked for it if you don't want it. "When you err, don't observe all these commandments which Yahweh has spoken to Moses, even all that Yahweh has commanded you by Moses from the day that Yahweh gave commandment and onward through your generations. Then it shall be, if it was done unwittingly without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation offer one young bull for a burnt offering, for a pleasant aroma to Yahweh, with its meal offering and its drink offering according to the accordance, and one male goat for a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and they shall be forgiven, for it was an error. And they have brought their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their error. All the congregation of the children of Israel shall be forgiven, as well as the stranger who lives as a foreigner among them, for with regard to all the people it was done unwittingly." So this is a rehash of Leviticus again. I hate that they always repeat this stuff. Again, if I ever write this book, I'm just going to remove all the book names and then just put the stuff in where they should be. I'm going to be slavery verses, yeast verses, Passover verses, Sabbath verses, just put them all there and not put every single one of them. Obviously, just if there was 3 Sabbath verses, you got to do the Sabbath or I'll kill you, just put one in there. That's enough. But maybe I seriously will kill you instead, just to make it so clear. For this, it's just sometimes people will do sins. They don't know that they've done sins. These are catch-all clauses so that the priests are always fed, just in case people are I don't think I sinned. They're what if there was an error that you did unwittingly? Huh? We'll just kill a bull for all of you. Anyone got a bull? "If a person sins unwittingly, then he shall offer a female goat a year old for a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement for the soul who errs when he sins unwittingly before Yahweh. He shall make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who does anything unwittingly, for him who is native born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger who lives as a foreigner among them. But the soul who does anything with a high hand whether he is a native born or a foreigner, blasphemes Yahweh, that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised Yahweh's word and has broken his commandment. That soul shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. I don't know what with a high hand means, but I have a feeling that it's a pretty common doctrinal point, which is more like doctrinal. It's pissing me off. So yeah, I think this is a pretty common doctrinal point. If you continue to do a sin, or you do it knowingly, if you purposely sin, you're like, I know I'm going to go sin right now, right? And you go sleep with your daughter-in-law or something, which is probably why Judah never got in trouble for what he did, because he didn't know, right? He was just sleeping innocently with a prostitute. So, there's no getting in trouble for that. But then when he finds out later, behold, it's Tamar, my daughter-in-law, he shouldn't be guilty. That was an unwitting sin. It's great that we have those stories as sweet little object lessons. But if somebody purposely goes ahead and does one of these sins knowingly as a kind of an FU to Yahweh, well, he's despising Yahweh's word. He's broken his commandment, and he's going to be cut off. While the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. Those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation. They put him in custody because it had not been declared what should be done to him. So here's another great object lesson. Oh, what do you do in this situation? What does it look like when somebody breaks the law? And a man innocently gathering sticks on the Sabbath day, but you're not supposed to do stuff on the Sabbath day. You're supposed to rest. And I mentioned conveniently, and I do not read these things ahead of time, but I mentioned earlier, Yahweh has said that if people don't rest on the Sabbath, that they will be, killed unto death. So let's see what happens. Maybe he'll show mercy, because God is a merciful God, apparently. Yahweh said to Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. Oh, geez. I miscalculated that one. He was gathering sticks, so I thought that maybe there would be, it wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe there would be some mercy, because I know a lot of Christians that work on Sundays and they're still alive, so I don't know. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. Well, at least that's just a command. They're not going to do it. All the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him to death with stones, as Yahweh commanded Moses. This is one thing that Christians will use as an apologetic. They'll say, okay, maybe it says in Leviticus 21 that they should burn a daughter that plays the prostitute alive, but did they ever do it? Because if they never did it, then it's just written down on the books. Well, it says don't do stuff on the Sabbath or you'll be stoned, and lo and behold, Yahweh couldn't come up with a better way to kill people. He knows lethal injection, right? He's aware of other more humane ways to kill people. But no, he decides instead that he'll do the thing where they throw rocks. Well, maybe they just didn't have the technology. Of course they didn't have the technology. Yahweh did, though. I don't know if it's a helium or some other gas that you can use, and it's very, very peaceful. Why wouldn't he bring that up? Oh, right, because picking up sticks on a Saturday is worthy of painful, ridiculously painful, aggressive death. People whipping stones. They, by the way, they have to do it too. I don't know. I don't think I could throw a rock at someone's face. I think I would ugh. If I threw a rock at a human body, I think, and wouldn't even have to know them. I'd be like, oh, I don't like the way that feels for me. That I could be a real baby, though. Maybe I should toughen up, become more of the type of guy that would be able to stomach throwing rocks at someone till they die. Who are these people? Well, it was a different time. Yeah, well, why wouldn't Yahweh be like, guys, don't throw rocks at people. It's very counterintuitive. This is a very weird religion to still adhere to, and to think that this God is good after he, because someone picked up sticks, commanded that stones be thrown at the person's body until he died completely, pummeled by rocks. I think it's really, really, really strange to imagine that a loving God would ever look down from heaven and go, my good and faithful servants, throwing rocks at this man, just a man picking up, well, he disobeyed. And Yahweh's holy. These are all nonsense words when it comes to like this actual behavior, guys. It doesn't mean anything. Yahweh's not good. He's someone that wants his people to throw rocks at other people till they die. It's disgusting. Yahweh spoke to Moses saying, speak to the children of Israel and tell them that they should make themselves fringes on the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put on the fringes of each border a cord of blue. It shall be to you for a fringe, that you may see it and remember all Yahweh's commandments and do them, and that you don't follow your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to play the prostitute, so that you may remember and do all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yahweh your God. Okay, yeah, we heard you. Yeah, we get it, Yahweh. I think that he repeats it just so it's like, did Yahweh really command that? Yeah. He's like any other kind of celebrity. They always get into like clothing design. He's already done a perfume line, if you'll remember back in Leviticus, and he now is doing a clothing line. He did a little bit of that for the priests too, but now this is like for everyone. Now everyone's wearing fringes. That's cool. I love a fringe. And I think this is because when he sees his people, he can't just like check for the circumcision. Like that's the sign unto him, right? That's the covenant. But now he's like, I need an extra little sign, which is the fringe, just so I keep these people in check. And it makes this religion feel more substantial, I think, to just add extra things. Maybe this is a test. Maybe it's a test of like, how far can we push these people? How many different kind of useless, arbitrary things can we get them to do before they go, forget it. This is a waste of our time. Leave us alone. Get off our back, Yahweh. So that's chapter 15. It was really, really boring until it got really, really fun, because Yahweh is a monster again, and he totally killed someone just for picking up sticks. That's wild, man. That's wild. Why aren't people wrestling with this? Like, I understand trying to do apologetics for a lot of the stuff, and this one might be one where it's just like, he disobeyed, so that's an easy, yeah, of course they killed him, he disobeyed. But at the same time, it's like, he didn't disobey a direct order to him specifically. He disobeyed one general law, and that's what they will all do throughout all time. So why is there just like this specific punishment in the moment for this guy? Are we to really believe that no one else ever picked up sticks? Unless it's just like every chapter, it's going to be someone else accidentally worked on a Sunday. I know it's a Saturday, but you know, how many times did they kill someone for working on the Sabbath? I don't want to jump ahead, but Jesus is going to totally negate this and do some stuff on the Sabbath. And that like is a slap in the face to this guy, right? Like, if you really think this happened, you have to go like, when Jesus did some sort of work on the Sabbath, he's kind of saying F you to this guy who lost his life for the same thing, right? He's like, I can do what I want. I was the one that commanded back in the day, or my dad was. We basically were the same people. We commanded back in the day that the guy be killed for it in the most brutal way possible. But then, like, I can do what I want, man. What, I'm not allowed to do some stuff on the Sabbath? Like, grow up. I'm God. Anyway, we haven't gotten there yet, but when we do, trust me, I'll try to remember this and bring it up again. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Like the video, comment on it if you want to be so bold, and we'll see you next time. Bye.